Okay, so coming to the last chapter, international trade. What is international trade? Going outside one country. Exchange of resources. We go outside India, foreigners comes to India, maybe for tourism or for employment or for new products. And India is a very big country, consumer markets, because people ultimately, once you produce, you need people to buy, and we have lots of them. So you pay foreigners come to India, exchange of resources, and history is there to teach us. We were ruled by British for so many years, hundreds of years. But why did the British come to India? Primarily for trading spices, because India had the resource. So resource purposes, all these international trade. Multiple currencies are involved: dollars, euros, pounds, rupees, of course. Some arguments in favor and some arguments against. Arguments in favor: economic efficiency. We get more money flow into India, that is in favor. New markets will get opened. We can also export. See, we have lot of software exports, because we could find those new people. If only have to sell within India, we may not have got that big market. And that too, with this invention of internet technology, the global village concept is being developed. Specialization, because we are able to produce same type of goods and services over and again, we can do mass scale production also. Specialization comes. In fact, you know, we learn opposite words in English. So in one of the school, it was written opposite of original, the person has wrote China products. So the China has become a substitute for duplicate. They produce in such mass scale. Specialization is possible because you could export throughout the world. Wider choice, you will have many players for the same market, so the consumer will get higher choice. So if you have to look at only mobiles, every mobile that you purchase either will be from China or from Japan or from Taiwan or from US iPhone. You see that you have so many choices. Made in India would be very, very less. I know uh, our Prime Minister Ji talks about Atma Nirbhar Bharat, but many places we still have international exposure. It generates employments, provides more opportunities. Strengthen bonds. You know that many people believe our Prime Minister sometime will always be on flight mode, and sometimes he comes to India also. I mean, nothing against him. Yes, it is required as a politician, as a politics. I mean, as a statesman, you have to meet lot of other countries, and when you have lot of commercial transactions with them, the bond between two countries also will be strengthened. There are some arguments against also. It is not good for labor markets. It will affect the labor market because it will take away the brain drain, they will tell, right? All good brain went to US. India, we don't have it for various reasons. This is one of the reasons. Unequal market access. Everybody will not have the same exposure. Some people, large companies can easily export. Small companies will not have that exposure, so they have the disadvantage. Exhaustion of natural resources, because India is good in natural resource, maybe mining, iron, they can extract, and they exploit too much, and the natural resource gets depleted. Even energy also, maybe petrol, all of those things, exhaustive resources. Adverse effect on domestic industries. Uh, when Amazon came into India, or even when there, you see that your habit itself is changed. Now you mostly trade online, right? you go and purchase, and the kirana shops are closed almost. Many things are getting closed. They cannot sustain, they cannot compete with the big giants like Amazon, Flipkart, Big Bazaar. So the international trade, globalization has that impact. Political sovereignty, I told you example of China. When you take too much of foreign loans, when you do too much of foreign transactions, they can take over your government also. So there is the political instability can arise, political sovereignty may be questioned. We have certain international trade theories. Let's discuss quickly. Mercantiles view, which says that you need the international transactions and we would like to export more, maximizing the exports, minimizing the imports. We don't want to take it, but we have to give it. We have to sell more, so we can even increase our foreign exchange reserves. Ultimately, is a zero sum game. That's what mercantiles view is all about. Then comes next one, absolute advantage theory. They specialize in cost advantage, specialization, mass scale production. So what you are good at, you have to produce more large scale production. You have cost advantage. Comparative advantage, relative advantage. The concept of opportunity cost. I think we are going to do some problem. You'll understand better. Let me just give an idea. What is this absolute advantage versus comparative advantage? This is like absolute poverty, relative poverty. You don't have the product is absolute advantage, absolute poverty. Neighbor has, you don't have, comparative or relative poverty. Comparison, in comparison purpose, comparative advantage. When you do a problem, you'll understand how this opportunity cost works. I'll just give one more small example, not directly, indirectly. So my relatives asked me this one of the question. You are a rank holder in all the three levels, so amazing. In final, which rank you got? I told I got 39th rank. All over India? Yeah, all over India. How much percentage you got? I said I got 59%. They'll be like, 59%? Second class, ah. I could not reply anything. I can't do anything. But you understand, right? That is their mentality. Their mentality is, if you tell I scored 95%, their mentality is what happens to balance 5%. But CA students' mentality, you scored 95, how many subjects put together? Our mindset is different. You can't really compare it. Comparative, relative poverty. It's like telling you fail, you feel bad. That is absolute one. You fail, but your friend will pass. That is what will have you. Or you fail, but your friend also failed. You scored 2 marks more than him. You scored 29, he scored 27. You feel happy. Comparative advantage. Anyway, we'll do a problem. You'll understand better regarding the absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Then we have Heckscher Holin, two people theory. They talked about factor endowments, that is land, labor, capital, or you can say money, entrepreneur. Countries which has one resource or one abundance, they will export it, and other who don't have it, they will import it. That is like telling you, India is a manpower rich country, or India is advantage in labor intensive products, whereas US is capital intensive country, so they will have more of capital intensive products. So India is more labor intensive country, so we focus on products, goods which is labor oriented, whereas US having capital, more capital intensive, they will have more manufacturing units. So that's what they say, the factor endowments, where it is higher, that country will focus on that surplus. That is what is factor endowment theory, Heckscher Holin theory. New trade theory, that is based on monopolistic competition, uh, economies of scale, or it's a network effects. I'll just explain to you. Okay, so this is telling one need not be substitute for another. Both can coexist. We like South Indian food. We like North Indian food. We also like Italian pizza, burger, pasta. We'll also like continental. Everything can coexist. One need not substitute another. Mobile phone. We can have Indian made mobile phone also. We can have China made mobile phone also. We can have US iPhone also. So everything can coexist. Network effects, economies of scale, monopolistic competition. So both export and import can happen. We export also, we import also. We will export pharmaceuticals, we'll import pharmaceuticals, certain tablets. So both can coexist. That is new trade theory. Let us take a problem relating to the absolute advantage, then for relative advantage. Come to this problem. You have this problem in the middle or no? Oh, no question is it? Okay, I missed giving you the question. Okay. Oh no, question is there, right? Question is there. Sorry, is there, right? Last page. Last page is there. Okay. Let's read the problem. I understand it is afternoon session, but still try your level best to concentrate. And also one more thing, in the afternoon session and in the morning early session, once you've written something, please read once. Is it there in the material or not? You'll be sleepy, so sometime you'll be writing in the air itself, or sometimes your pen cap you would not have opened, or sometimes you might be writing on the table or in friend's book. So in the afternoon session and all, once you have written, you can read it once to make sure that it is there in the book. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it really happened. After seeing that only I'm telling. Okay. And in class also it used to happen, that in online class it will not happen. In the class, when I'm not giving break, or something is boring, or you're not able to understand, there is some kind of reaction used to be there. It is not there in online class, but it used to be there in physical class. How you will drop the calculator down suddenly, just to let the faculty up, just to wake up the faculty. You drop the calculator, you drop the book, you drop the bag, sometime you push your friend, suddenly he will be shaken and faculty will be awakened. And some people will fall also suddenly in class. And I will always take it positively. I take it as people are falling for my teaching. I always believe in taking positive things. Anyway, so let's come back to this one. Data given below relates to production of two types of products per hour, units per hour: wheat, cloth, US, UK. So US can produce 6 wheat per hour, UK can produce 1 wheat per hour, US can produce 4 cloth per hour, and UK can produce 5 cloth per hour. Answer the following. Which country has absolute advantage in wheat? Now look at the wheat portion. So first row, tell me who can produce more. US can produce 6 units per hour, where UK can produce 1 units per hour. So who can produce more? Who is more efficient? It is US. So which country has the absolute advantage in wheat? That is US. Now, second, which country has absolute advantage in producing cloth? So, who can produce more clothes? US can produce 4 clothes, where UK can produce 5 clothes. So, UK is having absolute advantage in producing cloth. Okay, so now what is going to happen? Now, what is international trade? Wheat, US also can produce, UK also can produce. Cloth, US can produce, UK also can produce. And US required both wheat and cloth, UK requires both wheat and cloth. But what do we tell? We go for specialization, absolute advantage. US has absolute advantage in what? Wheat. So they should focus only on wheat because they are having the advantage, they are the best in it. You produce only wheat. Now UK is good in cloth, so UK should produce only cloth. They can maximize their efficiency specialization. Then they can exchange. US want some cloth and UK want some wheat. They can exchange. So ultimately, the overall production will increase. I'll show you how. Discuss the impact on output if countries decides to specialize in one product. If the rate of exchange is 1 wheat is 3 cloths, then compute the benefit accruing to both the countries for exchanging 1.5 wheat units. Okay, absolute advantage. Let me show you the thing. This is what the data question says. I have repeated. Okay, before international trade, what was the position of US and UK? After the position, what is the position of US and UK? Let us write it down. This first table you don't have to write down. It's part of the question. Only the second table you write down. Before international trade, US in 1 hour you could produce how many quantity? In US you could produce wheat 6 quantity, and US cloth you can produce 4 quantity. Similarly UK you can produce 1 wheat and 5 cloths. So in 1 hour you can produce 1 wheat and 5 cloths. So what is the total worldwide? If I take it, US produces 6 wheats, UK produces 1. So total you could produce 2. US produces 4 cloths and 5 white. So you can produce total 9. So in 2 hours you could produce totally 7 wheat and 9 cloths. This is before international trade, before specialization. Write down this table, then we'll repeat the same table after international trade if specialization is done. First you write down. Okay, hope this is done, this table. Let's do second table now. Now, we are going for specialization. US, they will not spend 1 hour for wheat, 1 hour for cloth. They spend both the hours on wheat. Similarly, UK will spend both the hours on cloth. in 2 hours, how many quantity they can produce? 12, right? In 1 hour they can produce 6. In 2 hours they can produce 12. Cloth, nothing, zero. They don't do anything. Now similarly UK is going to specialize in cloth. Wheat, nothing, zero, zero. So 2 hours what they have, they'll spend both the 2 hours on cloth. And how many they can produce? In 1 hour they can produce 5. In 2 hours they could produce 10. So what is the worldwide total wheat produced? 12. And what is the worldwide total cloth produced? That is 10. You compare in both the cases, earlier also 2 hours, 2 hours. Now also 2 hours, 2 hours. Earlier only 7 wheat, now 12 wheat. Earlier 9 wheat and now 10 wheat. So by doing specialization, you could increase the output of wheat also. You could increase the output of cloth also. Write it down. See if you have any doubt. Is it completed? Okay, good. Let's go for last part of the question. If the rate of exchange is 1 wheat is 3 cloths, compute the benefit for both the countries for exchanging 1.5 wheat units. Okay, 1 wheat is 3 cloths. Okay, so what is the gain you get of international trade? 1 wheat is 3 cloths. That's what they've given. 1 wheat, 3 cloths. Okay. You spent 2 hours. You had produced 12 quantity and they said you give up 1.5 wheat. This given the question. 1.5 wheat you give up. So what will be remaining with you? 10.5. And you need cloth. So you're going to purchase. So if you give up 1.5, how much it's going to be? It's going to be 4.5, right? Hope you understand. 1 wheat is 3 cloth. If it is 1.5 wheat, how much? Basically we cross multiply 3 times. Simple. Multiplied by 3. So 4.5 cloth. So for giving up 1.5 wheat, you're getting 4.5 cloth 3 times. Similarly UK, wheat they have not produced, but they have got it. How much? What is minus for them becomes plus 1.5. And UK 2 hours they spent in producing 10 clothes and they will get this 4.5 cloth, so they will have 5.5. So as a result, what will happen? Total you will have 12 and 10, that will remain same, but you compare with earlier ones. Earlier you had whatever is there, you are able to make sure that your total remains same. Now US also has cloth and wheat and UK also has cloth and wheat. So that is how you can make a gain. So you can write down Point 4. Point 4 is if you exchange, if you do international trade, what is the impact? The international trade is one wheat is 3 clothes, that is like an exchange rate. And how much wheat you are giving up? You are giving up 1.5 wheat. Who is producing wheat? US. So for US, you do minus 1.5. They are selling, they are giving up. And for UK, they are purchasing, you do plus 1.5. Understood? So 12 became 10.5. Sorry, this 12 became 10.5 and this 0 became 1.5. Minus for one, plus for another. And when you give up wheat, you get something. What do you get? Cloth. What is the terms of the trade? Rate of exchange. One wheat is 3 cloths. You have given up 1.5 wheat, basically 3 times. So how much cloth you get? 3 times of 1.5, you get 4.5. So you get 4.5 plus here you are getting, and the same thing will be minus for UK. So this is how you can exchange the products among yourself. And what is the gain? Compare before international trade, you are getting 6 quantity. Now you are having 10.5 quantity with you. Before trade, you had 6 before specialization. And before trade, cloth you had 4, and now you are having cloth 4.5. Your wheat consumption production also increased, cloth also have more now. Compare with US also. Earlier you had 12. Earlier you had 1 quantity. Now you are having 1.5 quantity. Earlier you had 5 quantity. Now you have 5.5 quantity. You see, by specialization, US also could increase their output, and UK also they could increase their output. That is what the advantage of absolute advantage theory in international trade. See, if you have any doubt, any calculation. Is it done? Completed? How? By doing specialization, both of them could increase their output. Absolute advantage theory is basically this: I am good at accounts, you are good at law. In accounts exam, I will read completely. Throughout, I'll read only accounts in my 2 months. Law, you read only for 2 months. In exam, let us copy your answers. In exam, you can't do it, but hope you got the concept. Specialization. Okay, is it completed? Okay, so I'll go for the next problem. Let's come to the next one. Data given below relates to production of 2 types of products per hour. Units per hour, US, China, plates, cups. Now here, you tell me which company has absolute advantage in plates. Who can produce more plates? That is China, right? China can produce more plates. Who can produce more cups? That is also China. Now you're having both advantage. Does it mean US should not work well? Only China should work? No. That is where we use the concept of opportunity cost, comparative advantage. So if China should produce plates, means how many cups they give up, like that, sacrificing opportunity cost. Okay, this is what they have given. So in US, 10 plates is 30 cups, right? In US, 10 plates is 30 cups. So one plate is 3 cups approximately. Now in China, 20 plates is 40 cups. In 1 hour, they can produce 20 plates or they can produce 40 cups. So what is one plate equals? 40 by 20, 2 cups. Now, on a comparison basis, not on an absolute basis, you tell me where plate is cheaper. In US, one plate is 3 cups. In China, one plate is 2 cups. So it is less, right? One plate is 2 cups, right? It is cheaper. In China, we have to sacrifice only 2 cups for one plate. But in US, you have to sacrifice 3 cups. So plate is easy, less costly. Opportunity cost is less in China for plates. So China should produce plates. In US, opposite. So what is the US? We'll write down first. You just complete this portion regarding the plates part. Then similarly, I'll do for cups and we'll see who will have a relative advantage. First, you complete this portion. Okay. Now let me do the cups part. So if 10 plate is 30 cups, what is 1 cup equals? You do 30 will go to the left side, 10 by 30 or 1 by 3. So 1 cup is 1 by 3 plate. And what about here? 1 cup is 1 by 2 plate, right? You understand? One plate is 1 cup is 1 by 2 plate. The 40 goes to left side. So here 1/3, here 1 by 2. So where it is cheaper? It is cheaper in US. So cup is cheaper in US. Opportunity cost is less in US. So US should produce cups. China should produce plate. Opportunity cost. So what is this opportunity cost? What is advantage? Relate comparative advantage. Not the time for plate, not the time for cups. Relative advantage, comparative advantage. If you compare plate in terms of cups, not in terms of hours, in terms of cups, relatively, comparatively, which is less costly, that should be produced. So in China, cups are cheaper. In US, plates are cheaper. In China, in US, cups are cheap. Done? Okay. Uh, Next, let's go through the remaining theory part quickly. Instruments of trade policy. Tariff means tax. How much tax they can levy. Import duty, export duty. You're all indirect experts. You must be knowing it. GST. These are all actually customs duties, basically. Special tariff, that is for a particular product. If you import this, we can charge more. They will have a tax. Ad valorem tariff. Ad valorem means based on value, percentage. If you import 5 lakh worth of goods like gold, ad valorem tariff is there. Like if you import beyond certain level, you have to pay tax, customs duty, import tax. Mixed tariff, it might be per unit or it may be percentage. Technical tariff, it might be specific on a particular type of product or technology, like if it's beyond 30 grams, like that. Tariff rate quotas, you can allow certain products, you cannot bring, like you have, right, uh, gold you can import up to 14-15 grams. Beyond that you have to pay tax, or you have like an income tax slab also, tariff slab might be there. That is one. Most favored nation tariff, MFN. If you import from certain countries where India has a treaty, signed a treaty, like UK or maybe Sri Lanka, where you have some signed signature, you have some agreements, the tariff can be less. Escalate tariff, if you import beyond certain point, you will be paying more taxes. Non-tariff measure, not a particular tax, technical measure. We have SPS, sanitary and uh, physiosanitary or cytosanitary, I don't know how to pronounce. Plant animal life. So based on certain levels, you can prohibit certain imports. Technical barriers to trade, standardizations. So you can see that if you want to import this drug, or if you want to import this pharmaceuticals, it has to satisfy certain technical certificates. Some people should approve it, standardization and so on. Non-technical measures, import quotas, you can import only to an extent, beyond that prohibited. Price control, it is allowed to be imported only up to that particular price. If the price cannot be go beyond this number. Non-automatic licensing, you have to apply. Initially, it used to be there when Indira Gandhi and all was there. If you want to import car, you have to make a approval. You have to make a application. They will apply. They will give us justificate. They will certify. Then only you can import. So a lot of license Raj was there. Now it is taken out. Uh, but now in certain cases they can put it. Government procurement policies, you can have sugar, limitations are there. Beyond this you cannot export this. There will be a limitation on sugar exports, some essential commodities. Even we had on this corona vaccine, covaxin also, we had some limitations. Lot of export was done, it was not available for our own citizens, then cut was made, beyond which you could not export, things like that. Rules of origin, so only if it is from certain countries we can accept, if it is from China we don't accept. Rules of origin, things can also be ban on export. So the example I gave you earlier, the covaxin, the or whatever it is, exports, export taxes, if you export beyond certain limit you have to pay tax. Export subsidies, if you do more of exports you get subsidies. It happened especially in the year 1990, because India was on the verge of almost bankruptcy on exchange reserves. So more exports were encouraged. So government was giving a lot of incentives and subsidies. Even if you do export or do electric vehicles, you get some subsidy, things like that. Trade negotiations regarding agreements, we have various varieties. RTA, regional trade agreements between India and Bangladesh, between India and France, India and Israel. We sign lot of things. Unilateral trade agreements, that is between two countries. Bilateral agreements between multiple countries. Regional preference trade agreements. Many countries come together. We have like even for oil, they have like OPEC countries coming together. They control the, like a cartel. They control the oil price. We also have SARC kind of thing where many countries are coming together. That is one. Trading bloc, group of countries. Free trade area, in certain we designate certain areas where it can be traded without restriction. Common market, so that some area can be marked for many countries to come and trade. They can offer their products, demonstrate their products. Then initial treaty was started with GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. It is a multilateral instrument, that is many countries came together. But it lost its relevance in 1980 because it is replaced by WTO, World Trade Organization, in the Uruguay round of conference. Members established around 15 groups, 15 countries. Now we have more. About it contains countervailing duties. Like Advait Learning duties, I told you, countervailing duties means if you import too much of cheap goods, especially from China, it might be lower than our local price. So our local vendors may be affected. So what do we do? If it is at a cheaper price, I will add some tax so that the price will be competitive with the local price. Countervailing duties. TRIPR, trade related intellectual property. For the first time, it covered intellectual property also, dispute settlement among the countries in case of differences. WTO, objective of WTO, World Trade Organization, I'll quickly read through it. Nothing much to explain. Raise the standard of living of the member countries, providing full employment, real income and effective demand. That is objective of any economics, to provide employment and to provide stability. Structure of WTO, Geneva, Director General, and three-tier system. First tier, them in three levels: Ministerial Conference, then we have General Council, who have dispute settlement body and all, and then we have councils who take care of goods, service, and then IP, intellectual property. Membership, we have more than 164 countries now. 95% of the world trade is through WTO. Guiding principle, trade without discrimination, try to treat everybody same. National treatment principle, that is treat everybody similarly. Free trade without restrictions, without too much of interferences from governments. Predictability and stability, the government should not change their policy frequently so that international transactions can happen smoothly. And greater competitiveness so that consumer will be benefited. And transparent also, any policy change, rate change, it can be more transparent, make it open for the member countries. Progressive liberalization, that is, we would like to modernize in a systematic manner, in a transparent manner. We have exchange rate, that is, $1 equals to 50 rupees, 75 rupees. How do we determine that? We have two methods, or we can say two quotes. One is called as direct quote, other is called as indirect quote. Those things you will learn in final level, but anyway, I'll just give an idea. If I tell $1 is 50 rupees, so I'm expressing dollar like a product. 1 liter, 1 pen, 1 computer, $1. That is 1 unit of foreign currency is equal to so many units of local currency. That is called as direct quote. If I do reverse, 1 rupee equals to $0.02. One unit of local currency is equal to so many units of foreign currency. That is called as indirect quote, because I am treating myself as a product. I am treating rupee as a product. That's called as indirect quotes. You tell me, when you go to hotel, what will you ask? Will you ask what is one plate idli? Or will you tell, I have 10 rupees, how many idlis you can give me? You normally tell, right? What is one plate idli? What is one pen? What is one mobile? That's how you cost. But in one place, you'll always give money, and whatever they give, you'll accept it. You follow indirect code in one place. Can you imagine in which place indirect code is very common? You would have seen in your real life also. Oh, I hope you got my point. Everywhere, any shop you go, You always tell what is one plate equals to, one pen equals to, one laptop equals to. But in one place, you give the money and how much ever they give, you take it. Not in stock market. In stock market also, you'll have one Infosys share price equals to, one TCS equals to. You will not do, I have 10,000 rupees, how many shares I can buy? No, that will not happen in the stock market also. It is always quantity you purchase. One quantity so much. But in one place, one common place, you follow indirect quotes. You give money and how much ever comes, you take it for that money. Okay, I'm not sure whether you can make out. It is in petrol bunk, isn't it? Petrol bunk, you go everywhere, you give 200 rupees. How much ever petrol, you put it. Whether petrol price is 80 rupees or petrol price 150 rupees, we will put petrol for 200 rupees. For a car, 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees. Right? We don't tell, oh, 1 liter petrol, 110 rupees, okay, take 110 rupees. We don't go by liter basis, right? We go by rupee basis. That is what is indirect quote. So in India, if I purchase US dollar, I am purchasing USD, selling USD. I am purchasing pounds, selling pounds. I am purchasing euro, selling euro. They are like products to me. That is direct quote. If I tell 1 rupee equals to how many dollars, I am buying and sell rupees. I am buying my own currency. That becomes indirect quote. Anyway, hope you got that. We have then nominal rate and real rate. You know what is the real rate, nominal rate we have discussed in inflation, in capital budgeting. Nominal rate, whatever is the exchange rate. For the exchange rate, if I take out the inflation effect, domestic inflation and foreign inflation, if I take out the inflation effect, that becomes real rate. So basically, in older terms, we have floating regime and fixed regime. Floating rates means depends on demand and supply, the exchange rate will fluctuate. You see, $1 equals to 70 rupees in the morning, evening it would have become 71 rupees. Because of demand for dollar, supply of dollar. Demand supply, equilibrium point, market force. That is called as floating regime. Fixed regime means rate is fixed, soft peg. Don't think some other peg. For example, US dollar and Arab dinar, AED. That is $1 is some 3.7 or something like that. It's fixed. They review once in many years till it is fixed. It does not change. That is called as fixed or soft peg. Uh, I mean, they have soft peg, hard peg, means one portion is fixed and they will make small fluctuations. They will review it. That's what is hard peg, soft peg. But what you remember is fixed thing that is determined by the government authorities by negotiation between two countries. Then we have two things. One is devaluation, other is depreciation. Depreciation means reduction in the value. For example, $1. Yesterday it was 70 rupees. And now $1 became 69 rupees. Why dollar value reduced? Market force. Yesterday demand was more, today demand is less, or supply is more, supply is less. Because of it, you have exchange fluctuations. So when the value comes down, that's called as depreciation. That's because of market force. Whereas devaluation is a deliberate adjustment by government. We had done it in the year 1991 to encourage more exports. When Manmohan Singh was a finance minister, very great finance minister then, PV Narasimha Rao was the prime minister, 1991, where India was out of foreign exchange reserves. We wanted foreign exchange currency. We wanted to encourage exports. So we did devaluation. $1, I don't remember the numbers, maybe some 20 rupees suddenly became some 25 rupees. Government fixed it. What is the reason behind it? Earlier, what people were getting, local exporter were getting 20 rupees, now they get 25 rupees. So exporters were getting more money, they were encouraged to do more exports. A couple of years back, even China did it, devaluation. So deliberate adjustment is called as devaluation. Changes or fall in the rates due to market force is called as depreciation. Okay, last one we have international capital movements, foreign borrowing, foreign loan. So we take the loan from foreign countries or we go to foreign countries and invest. For example, Microsoft has come to India, Netflix has come to India, Indian company has gone outside, Tata Motors has got Jaguar cars, Infosys share is listed in New York Stock Exchange. So we go outside, they come inside. So capital movements are there. Deposits from NRI, and main difference point, we have FDI and FPI, foreign direct investment, FDI, FPI, foreign portfolio investment. You have to understand the distinction. Lot of policy of government is also there. In some sectors we allow FDI, like defense sector they don't allow. In retail sector they have restriction. In banking sector they have allowed. So some sectors 100%, some sectors 50% government policies. What is FDI? Foreign direct investment. Foreign individuals, foreign companies come to India and start their business directly. They start their business. Foreign people are involved in the management. They start a company, they put their money and they manage. FDI. Examples are Microsoft. Microsoft is a US company. It has come to India and they started Microsoft India Private Limited something. So who is the owner, shareholders of Microsoft? US people. Where they are having the business? In India. Who is controlling this? US. Who is managing it? US persons. That is FDI. So equity or maybe through reserves or debt, any amount. Investors are individuals or maybe corporates. The type may be horizontal or vertical. Horizontal means in a similar industry. Vertical means as a supplier or as a customer. Like a car manufacturing company can start a subsidiary in India for supplying them car components. That becomes vertical. When Microsoft started a company in India, they are having equal products here. Apple company produces Apple mobile phones in India, that is horizontal. They are having equivalent units. Or if you have one layer below, that becomes vertical or conglomerate, unrelated things. FPI means or a foreign portfolio investors, foreign institutional investors, specifically they buy the shares and sell the shares through stock market, secondary market. If you look at the recent history, in the last 1 month, FII has sold almost 25,000 crores worth of money. I was watching reading some article yesterday. And that is why in last 1 month, stock market is actually not moved anywhere because FIIs are taking out their money. And there is more fear, they can take more money out, so Indian stock market might fall. So what do they are? FPIs, they are institutions registered with SEBI. And what do? They buy and sell the shares of Indian companies. Their favorite stocks are HDFC Bank, uh, HDFC, ICICI Bank. So when those shares are purchased by the FII, foreign institutional investor, now they're called as FPI, foreign portfolio investor. Their objective is not to invest in the company for longer period of time. Their objective is not capital appreciation. Their objective is momentary. I've invested in 5-6 months. I want to make good money. So basically, traders, you can say, or their intention is not to run the business. Their intention is to make the money out of increase in share price. They are called as FPI, foreign portfolio investor. They come through secondary market. They don't manage the business. FDI, they manage the business. So advantage of FDI is also there. Technology also comes. So when Microsoft comes to India, their payroll software, their internal software, everything comes to India as well. So we have that advantage in FDI. Okay, so this is what is international trade is all about. I'm not sure to what extent you could grasp. But this is what the crash course meant to be, overall review, revision purpose. I always say, for a good, or if you want to achieve success in life, you need to have a good vision. But in CA, if you want to have a good success, you should have a revision, lot of revision. I believe these sessions for last 3 days helped you in some manner, especially for revision purpose. We cannot complete 100% syllabus, but I tried my level best to cover the major aspects from most of the chapters. Many students after the exams, I mean, after the previous crash course and all, after exams, many students message me telling they could take up the questions in exam confidently and they got good marks also. I believe you're also going to make the best out of it, because more than money you paid, I value your time. You spent 3 good days. Whether you like me face or not, whether you liked my voice or not, you listened, or you tried to listen. You spent your time. I hope that the time was worth it. And after these 3 day sessions, I hope your confidence level is increased. So, what is confidence level? I'll quickly tell you. Confidence is not knowing all the answers. Nobody knows all the answers. But confidence is being prepared to face any question. Come what may, I will face it. Whether I know the answer or not is secondary. But at least I have the confidence to read the question in exam. I hope that target is achieved with these sessions. I don't know whether you'll be able to solve all the problem in exam, but definitely I can tell you the concepts what we have covered here should give you the confidence to face the questions in exams. To tell you in a simpler words, when a tree sits on, when a bird sits on a tree, does it know that the tree branch will not break? Then, if does not know, how does that bird sits on tree, on branch of a tree, knowing that it may break, it may not break? The confidence is not on the tree, the confidence is on the wings. If something happens to tree, it can fly. So the confidence is not on the tree, the confidence is on the fly. Similarly, the confidence is not knowing all the answers for you. For you, the wings is concepts, which is what I try to cover as much as possible. So focus on concepts, you will be able to face any question. Uh, just to conclude, before I go further, I don't want to give my students marks card because I don't have any say, any contribution in my students. So I'll show my own marks card which I have written. In CA final, this is my marks card. So you can see that in accounts and SFM I got more marks. That's where I targeted. And I also have auditing 46 marks. This is my marks card in intermediate, 3 subjects. I had only 6 subjects. Your juniors, your seniors had 7 subjects. You are having 8 subjects. Your juniors, I don't know how many they have. Before new things comes up, you please pass the exams. Here also you can see, in one subject I got 89, other subject I got as low as 45. And this is my foundation marks, where even I could score 100 in mathematics. It happened. Just to tell you that it can happen. Anyway, so the purpose of giving you the marks card towards the end is just to tell you that you can do it. That's all I just wanted to tell. So even if one person gets some sort of that push, that is beneficial, and that is the purpose. Okay, so that's it from my side. Yesterday, I think we left around 10-15 minutes late. and today I'm leaving around 10-15 minutes earlier as promised. I am compensating. Okay, I get one question. Let me just tell you that. In FM, the payables management 2 by 10 net 95 means what? Okay, I'll tell you that. 2 by 10 net 95. If they give you like this, it's applicable for receivable management also, payable management also. It basically means normal credit period is 95 days. Invoice credit period 95 days. But if you pay in 10 days, you get 2% cash discount. So normal credit period 95 days. If you pay it earlier, if you pay in 10 days, then you get 2% cash discount. That's what it means. So sessions were useful. It has helped to boost the confidence. Amazing. That was the purpose. So any other questions you have? My mobile number is there. My Telegram ID is there. Email ID is there. You are free to contact. Government in okay, small overview on cap and trade. Oh, okay, cap and trade. Okay, I'll quickly tell you what is this cap and trade. It is basically applicable on emissions or the emissions what you have, especially from factories. See, for example, in factory A, in factory B, we as a government they have told you can emit up to 100 million something, 100 units something. Okay, this is allowed 100 units. Now A is polluting or emitting 120 units. They are exceeding the limit. They are exceeding the cap by how much? 20 units they are exceeding. So they have to pay penalty. But what they do, they look at the neighbor or some other company. They have only 60 units. So they have surplus with them. So what do you tell B? I'll pay you some money. Can you give me the 20 units credit to me so that you show 80 units? I will also show 120 minus 20, 100 units so that I am within the limits. I am within the cap. I am paying you money for that. These units are also traded, bought and sold. These extra units. So those who don't pollute can get paid for transferring it to somebody else. It's also called as carbon trading. That is what is called as cap and trade. The excess amount can be sold to somebody who is producing more, thereby you can get money, they can get the credit. It's like Mars card. I mean, it's not happening, but imagine, example, okay? Just imagine. Suppose you scored, let's say, okay, 80 marks, okay, and your friend scored, let's say, 30 marks. What your friend will tell you, give me some marks. No, by 80 what do you do? Give me some 20 marks. So you have 60 marks with you, I will have 50 marks, both of us can pass. I mean, it will not happen, but just imagine. That's what is cap and trade means. um, this can happen only between near to near industry. No, not near to near. For example, I told you near to near. It can happen between any industry who have registered themselves, because they have to follow certain documents, certain process and all will be there. They have to have the things verified, certified. Lot of process is there. For example purpose, I told you nearby. Please explain that again. Okay, I'll explain that one part again. 2 by 10 net 95 means if you pay normal you will have 95 days, but if you pay it in 10 days only, if you pay earlier, you pay 85 days earlier, you pay it in 10 days, you get 2% discount. That's what the sentence means. You get 2% discount if you just pay it in 10 days, that is 85 days earlier. If you don't want discount, pay it in normal days, that is 95. Okay, so that's it from my side. I hope everything was useful, beneficial. Any doubt is there? I shared my email ID, mobile number, Telegram ID. You are free to contact me. So we'll stop at this point. Please do prepare well and write the exam. I'll just conclude with my last favorite sentence that I do in each of my conclusion sentence. Most people live as if they don't die. Most people live as if they don't die, and most people die as if they have not lived at all. But only few people will be alive even after their death because of the work they do when they are alive. I wish you should do those kind of works. All the best for examination. Hope to see you at a CA final level soon. Take care. All the best. Bye bye.